Hello, Dr. Jones. My name is Grady Frazier, and my USC ID number is D51532989. And I'm currently a student in your Marine Science 210 course, fall 2024. And I want to tell you about my perspective on the fascinating documentary Chasing Corals. Chasing Coral is a Netflix documentary that focuses on the alarming phenomenon of coral bleaching. Coral bleaching is an ecological crisis caused primarily by climate change. The film follows a team of scientists, divers, and photographers who set out on a mission to document the widespread destruction of coral reefs all over the world. The documentary emphasizes how corals lose the algae that gives them nutrients and vivid colors as a result of warming ocean temperatures brought on by global warming. Corals undergo a process called bleaching, as a result turning white and eventually dying if the water remains warm. Using water cinematography, the scientific team documents the stunning underwater ecosystems and catastrophic damages they experience. The importance of coral reefs in sustaining marine life, safeguarding coastlines, and supplying millions of people with economic resources is also emphasized in the film. It highlights how even slight increases in ocean temperatures can have disastrous consequences by tying coral bleaching to human-caused climate change. The film combines personal stories with scientific explanations, demonstrating the team's passion and determination as they face numerous obstacles. It encourages viewers to acknowledge how important coral reefs are in marine science. Next, I'm going to talk about Next, I'm going to state points made in Chasing Corals that were discussed in class. The first point that was discussed in the documentary and in class is the topic of coral bleaching and climate change. One of the most destructive effects of climate change is coral bleaching, which is the main topic of Chasing Coral. The main cause of bleaching events, according to the documentary, is warming oceans brought on by greenhouse gas emissions. We covered in class how corals can withstand brief stressors but die in large numbers when exposed to high temperatures for an extended period of time. Time-lapse footage of once vibrant reefs dying and turning white is used in the documentary to vividly depict this. In order to show how climate change is not only an environmental problem but also a social and economic one, it also highlights the ripple effect of reef loss on marine ecosystems, coastal communities. This connection to global climate systems makes the documentary's message even more powerful. The second point I'm going to discuss is the symbiosis between coral and algae, how the reefs are built. And coral polyps are microscopic creatures and contribute significantly to the formation of reefs by laying down calcium carbonate, which forms a tough protective shell. They depend on symbiotic relationship with zooxanthia algae for survival, as was covered in class. The coral is supported by the energy produced by photosynthesis, which is produced by the algae that resides with its tissues. The process of building reefs revolves around this relationship. The team describes in Chasing Coral how bleaching upsets this equilibrium, causing zooxanthia to be expelled and the coral to become energy starved. Coral polyps are unable to construct or maintain the reef without this collaboration. The amazing footage of bleaching corals in the documentary helps to visualize this process and links it to the wider effects of climate change. A third point discussing coral reef A third point discussed is coral reef development and classification. As coral polyps secrete calcium carbonate to construct their skeletons, coral reefs are created over thousands of years. We talked about the various kinds of reefs in class, as well as how geological and environmental factors influence their development. The documentary highlights various reef systems around the world, including Australia's Great Barrier Reef. The examples provided highlights the tremendous amount of time and effort required for the reef formation, as well as the tragic speed at which climate change is destroying them. The film emphasizes the urgency of the problem by showing how reefs that took a while to develop are disappearing in a matter of decades. A fourth point discussed is technical and emotional challenges of documenting bleaching. Chasing Coral highlights the technical challenges of documenting coral bleaching in real time using innovative underwater time-lapse cameras. The team faced frequent equipment malfunctions, including leaks and corrosion, which delayed progress. Assessing remote reefs required significant time and resources, with additional challenges like extreme weather, long dives, and coordinating efforts across multiple sites. Environmental factors such as ocean currents, poor visibility, sedimentation often disrupted filming. Moreover, the rapid onset of bleaching events gave the team a narrow window to capture the phenomenon, adding pressure to their mission. The emotional toll of seeing coral bleaching was even more severe than the technical difficulties. The emotional toll of seeing coral bleaching was even more severe than the technical difficulties. Members of the teams talked about the heartbreaking experience of witnessing reefs that were once vibrant and colorful turn into dead white wastelands that are sometimes called the rainforests of seas. Many people felt that the destruction was very personal, as if they were losing a piece of themselves, especially marine biologists and divers who had spent years studying or exploring these ecosystems. The teams were also experienced a sense of powerlessness as they struggled with the enormity of the issue caused by global climate change, which was well beyond their direct control. Even though they tried to document it and spread awareness, they knew that widespread action was necessary to undo the harm, but this hopelessness strengthened their determination because they understood how important it was to take these pictures in order to raise awareness and encourage action to save coral reefs. A fifth and final point that I will talk about that was discussed in both class and the documentary is coral reefs and their ecological importance. In class, we discussed the ideal conditions that coral reefs need to thrive: warm, clear, shallow waters with consistent temperatures, low nutrient levels, and high salinity. The documentary illustrates how even minor deviations from these conditions, especially water temperature, can have catastrophic effects. For example, Chasing Corals explains how climate change is warming the oceans, causing widespread coral bleaching events. These warm water disruptions, the symbiotic relationship between coral polyps and their zooxanthia algae. These corals become stressed. They push out the algae, which leads to bleaching and eventually the death of the reef if temperatures don't return to normal. Beyond just ecological consequences, human groups that rely on coral reefs for coastal protection, food, and money are also significantly impacted. I give Chasing Corals a definite thumbs up. With its striking visuals and powerful emotional content, the documentary makes the science of coral bleaching understandable in a wide range of viewers. In addition to outlining the issue, it motivates people to take action by demonstrating how they can support the solutions, including lowering carbon footprints and pushing for legislative changes. After watching the film, I felt more knowledgeable and inspired to save these important ecosystems. Thank you for listening.